Wild. No more pain, the wind says. You've been too long in its quicksand. Beyond the muteness, beyond the cravenness, there's this inlet where the tide comes in, these limpet strewn rocks and the orange beak of the oyster catcher in the dim winter light. Yes, layer upon layer has been stripped, but what of wildness? On this rain-lush beach, it will no longer wait. It wants me back. I have been on loan to civility for far too long. This poem is utterances. In this place, where history holds no sway, yet even the deepest scars are loved, no one is known by name, nor failures or accomplishments, nor color of eyes, hair, or skin. In this place, the language spoken is the delicate tongue of remembrance and longing, of intimation, tears, and the unspeakable joy of being known. Thank you. This is aftermath. In panic, I ran from one place to another, from one person to the next and the next. I took to hiding in the spaces between words, silence the temporary refuge. I took to disappearing into the slivers of stillness between moments, those lulls in which no one was noticing. There are more of them than you think, putting off the inevitability of emergence. But I was always going to have to come out eventually. Thank you. This is selling yourself short. My guess is you're trying to not be what you are, so wonderfully, hysterically futile. My guess is you're selling yourself short. I know I did. I kept my sights in check. I punched well below my weight, procrastinated, dissembled, and came up with 100 excuses, believing that if I hid beneath the parapet, I might escape the inescapable. Trying not to be this made me mad, not all out bonkers insane, but contained, constrained, numb. But then the lying came to an abrupt halt. There was I, totally exposed, deeply insecure, stumbling uncertainly, utterly incapable of being anything other, and inexplicably, unspeakably happy. Thank you. Body. And my body says, there's a fucking cosmos in here. Suns, stars, galaxies, comets. You should know I am so much more than a storehouse for your trauma or a battleground for your conflicts or the bearer of your scars or the carrier of your soul. So don't pull your reductive, objectifying, imperialist bullshit on me. I am not something to be colonized by whatever good intentions you have this month or your warped ideas about purity and perfection. Let's just say, I know all your sleights of hand, your baiting and switching. We both know who you are, and we both know that you should be on your knees, sinking into me, worshipping at my feet and howling at my very miraculousness. Eve was a realist. I feigned ignorance until that first touch, but mercifully, my spell in Eden was brief. I tumbled from the garden bruised, but ever grateful that we can't unknow what we know. Surely we've all bitten into the apple a little too eagerly at times, intent on proving our innocence. Eve was a realist. She knew it was the time to blow the whistle on all Adam's fig leaf cover-ups, but like all good messengers, she got shot. In the silence, I hear her whisper, "Tree or no tree, you already know how naked you are, so stop pretending otherwise." Thank you. Sunken. All of it happened, all of it finite, all of it gone. Yet here's me trying to rearrange the chairs on the long submerged deck as if there is still a chance of rendering the shipwreck bearable somehow. Many leagues beneath this futile activity, abundant life blooms in the stillness, undisturbed. Better sailors know when to jump ship. And this is my final poem for tonight. I'm not sure, I've completely ignored the timing, Mike. I'm not sure how we're doing.
Fine.
Yeah, is that okay? This is called Inhibition. I wrote this and then I was too inhibited to post it. So this is its first public outing. Inhibition. If I was uninhibited, my hair would be wild and long. My eyes would be dark ringed like they used to be. I would wear silver boots, legs akimbo, and show my cleavage whenever I felt like it. If I was uninhibited, my house would be a sumptuous, beautiful, eccentric mess, as would I. And if I was uninhibited, I would take up space like I meant it. Sisters, there would be so much more of me. If I was uninhibited, you would know me. If I was uninhibited, I would take back my sexuality, lock, stock, and both smoking barrels, and refashion it entirely for my own ends. If I was uninhibited, I would be spunky as you like, spilling over with generosity. I would be in the fray, punching my weight, all muscles and teeth bearing, snarling, howling, shrieking uproariously, and with the biggest shit-eating, most glorious, radiant grin you have ever seen. That is when I wasn't being silent, because, well, because.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Am I unmuted? If you've unmuted yourself. Thank you. No, it's connected to that one, Mike. Oh, thank you, pardon. Well, then you're unmuted. Okay, thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
That was a really enjoyable reading. We all loved it, I'm sure, and people will tell you. So thank you so much. Now, normally what we do with the Zoom is we pause briefly while people in the room can refresh their drinks and take away any empties so the people in the cafe can start clearing away. So if we could take a couple of minutes just to do that. Before you do that, however, I just want to say what I should have said at the beginning, that I'm afraid, as you will have seen from the email that I sent out, that we are now starting to ask for a £2 donation for our for entry to the readings. And that's because, like everybody else in this these difficult times, our circumstances too are changing. And so therefore we need to go against our first principle really and invite you to make a contribution to our ongoing costs. So thank you so much for those of you who've made a contribution by card or who've put some cash in the box. And some of you I know have made use of the donate button that you'll find on our website. Only thing I'd say is that on the back table is if you are a UK taxpayer, we can get gift aid on the contribution that you make. So if you make a contribution, I would urge you to take a gift aid form and complete that. We've already received from the revenue, we've already received £80 for previous donations that we've received. So it is quite significant for us. And as far as we're concerned, you know, it is, as they say, free money. So if you're able to complete that form for us, we will be extremely grateful. So if you give yourselves no more than 5 minutes, and I hope it'll take a little bit less, and we will then commence the open mic. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona, I really enjoyed your reading. It was very fun, and I jotted down a couple of lines. The one that I can't pretend that this isn't what my heart was made for. Really great line.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really great. And the other one I wrote down is the last poem you wrote, I would take up space as though I meant it. Wow. Yeah. What if we all did that? Wow.
Yeah, wow. What a thought that is. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I love the uninhibited you go girl. You have to put that out there. That had so much power behind it. That's really great.
Thank you.
Hi, Fiona. I really enjoyed your reading. And Karen, I wrote down the same line. That is what my heart was made for. Just love that.
Yeah.
And you know, what I got from your reading was, if we only knew how great we all are.
Completely. Yeah, absolutely.
And you've really uplifted me this morning. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that nailed it, Weezy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book? What's the name of your book again?
It's The Dark Night of the Soul, A Journey from Absence to Presence. And that's not poetry, that's a book about being in the dark night of the soul.
Oh.
Gee, I feel like you're my sister.
Oh.
Okay. I wonder if that's available over here.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you say it's not a poetry book. It's more about your work.
It's really a book about how I mean, I wrote it almost like a companion guide to anybody who's in the dark night of the soul, sharing my experience of that process for me. And just I mean, I really wrote what I would have liked to have read when I was going through that.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
I will look for that.
Thank you.
So I felt like whether you intended it or not, it was therapeutic.
Yes.
You know, all of those powerful lines, it was like, I needed to hear that. I need to know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we didn't have to pay a therapist for it either.
Yeah, absolutely. Just listen to some poetry. That's great.
So your next book is going to be a book of poetry.
I think that's the plan. I mean, I write very sporadically, so I'm not prolific, but I think, yeah, I think I could put something together now for sure.
I think that would be good. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. It's
Yeah.
really great to have your support.
absolutely. That's what we do for each other. Wheezy and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
are in a group. Wheezy and I are in a group with 3 other poets that met just starting at the start of the pandemic. We had one in-person meeting, and then we went onto Zoom.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
We were writing about what was going on, and eventually decided to put it into a book of poetry.
Fantastic.
It really helped so much during the pandemic to have this project going. First to be writing the poems, and then the second year kind of putting it together and publishing it ourselves, but and critiquing along the way. So we really felt like we were improving as poets and are improving our poems. So if you can find a group like that, I really recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate here because we have a writers' workshop in town, in the city.
Oh, good.
I mean, like everybody else, I've been really out of the loop of doing things in person until relatively recently. But yeah, it's great to be able to share like that, isn't it?
Yes.
And some of my friends who have come today, we share a lot with each other, so poetry and everything else. So that's really helpful.
Fantastic. Okay. Does anybody know if I'm going to let Ken know that I will read today? Is that to send a direct message to the Denny Jones?
Again, you're reading, aren't you, Karen? I'm assuming you're reading.
Yes, yeah, I am.
Always assume you are.
Good to see you. How's Denny? I heard she had
She's good.
hip.
She's here. Yeah, she's here.
Oh, she is.
Moving,
oh, good.
she's moving around.
Where is she? Okay.
Well, she's moving around.
Okay. Oh, there she
There
is.
she is. Look, waving at you.
Oh, I hear Sarah's going to come and see you soon. Sarah and,
She is.
Yeah. I am jealous. I'm jealous.
Right. Okay, I'm calling you all to order now. So we're going to start the open mic. So if you're on Zoom, please mute yourself. So please all mute yourselves, and we will commence the Zoom. Now, just so you know, commence the open mic. So just so you know, you all know, I think by now, those of you in the room and those of you on Zoom, you know the rule: 1 poem, no epics. We mean it. So, and now my wife has a walking stick, so I actually have a hook that I can literally hook you with, but not obviously if you're on Zoom, but of course I can turn you off. So, you know, we can do whatever. So we'll, as usual, we'll dart between Zoom and the room, and we'll see how we go. So we're going to open with somebody in the room, and we'll start with Christine, please. That is where you should stand. You'll see yourself in the thing.
Hello, everyone. Hello. We didn't have our William Blake evening, but I did start writing something. So this is it. To William Blake. William Blake, born in 1757 and died in 1827. His feet would have walked to the green pastures of Felpham and all along its shoreline, before beach huts and benches, before the cathedral spire collapsed in 1861. He lived briefly in Felpham. In the 1800s, there were highwaymen. Miscreants might be strung from the gibbets on the outskirts of villages. Different times then. Brought up on the Bible and homeschooled, he was a visionary, a dreamer. He became a draftsman, an etcher, and a poet. I can't read my own writing. Spurned during his lifetime, almost 200 years after his death, 1,000 people came to mark his grave with a marble slab. The Blake Society are hoping to salvage his Felpham cottage, its thatch sagging, its garden neglected. About Blake, opinions vary. Some consider him a genius. Others thought him simply mad. He passed on his skillful engraving techniques to his students and influenced many, including Samuel Palmer and John Flaxman. His most well-known creations are the poem Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, and the hymn Jerusalem, adopted by the Women's Institute. A legacy indeed. Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Thank you, Christine. Okay, so we'll go to somebody on Zoom next, and I think we'll invite next Wheezy. We're going to invite you. Unmute yourself, please. Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So happy to be here with you all. This is called At 5, I Danced the Polka. We all piled into our old jalopy rocket 1938. Mama drove, aunts, uncles, cousins crowded in where they could. Rumbled down northern Wisconsin's dirtback roads where the tall tack pines grow. Eyes of baffled deer glowed in headlights as we puttered past. All happy, looking forward to cutting loose. My heart pounding when the old beer hall finally in sight, bursting with people ready for a great night. Even as we parked the car, the ground shook with music's roar. Horns, accordions echoed far. We entered the old barn, twinkling white lights, stardust, smell of spilled beer hung in the air. A neighbor's Polish wedding reception just off the dense forest at road's end. Bride and groom danced with abandon in the center of the floor. Band doing their rendition of Beer Barrel Polka, mesmerizing rhythm. My uncle, war-hardened, just home, fresh from Europe, took me by the hand, threw me up in the air and planted my feet on the toes of his boots, locked my arms around his waist and told me to hold on. At warp speed, once around the floor. Mama saw in horror as we blurred past, captured me from Uncle's arms, my head spinning, detached from my body in another world. But I got to dance the polka with the handsomest man in the room, my Uncle Harold. This night, unbridled joy, end of war, family together, remains a highlight. Probably impacted my future now that I knew what was possible.
Thank you, Wheezy. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll stay on the Zoom, and next up we'll have Gudrun, please. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is called In Defense of Mustard and Vetch. It has a little saying there, a plant that interferes with management objectives for a given area of land at a given point in time. That's the definition for weed in Weeds of the West. Who is to say what is a weed? Surely not the bright oxalis, dormant till winter rains wake it to open yellow-frilled thimbles above the lush blanket of leaves. Or the minute wood sorrel creeping amongst grasses, timid, hiding its tiny blossoms. Even down on my knees, I almost miss its shy faces. Nor the stork's-bill, its mat of lacy green seizes my meadow, every crevice between boulders, lifts its pink stars to the sky. And then there's my favorite, vetch, escaped from domesticity, tendrils up and over its purple blooms like frothy caterpillars. I won't even mention black mustard's shimmer spilling down slopes, a golden mantle aglow as if lit from within. What tenacity and plenitude. Let them share my garden bed, claim every patch of dirt. Let them own their place next to lavender and roses. Thank you.
Thank you, Gudrun. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
It's good
James.
to see all of you on Zoom. Now, there are one or two of you who I forgot to ask or haven't seen the chat as to whether you're going to read or not on Zoom. So, Doreen, I don't know if you're going to read or not. Okay, we'll say no. Julian, are you going to read?
Julian, yes, he's putting his.
Oh, okay. Then I'll tell you what, Julian. I'll tell you what, we will invite you to read next, Julian, if you're ready to do that. Thank you very much. Unmute yourself, please. And let's.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm from Malaysia.
Yes.
First time here. Here goes. The poems we write. Your poem is birdsong on a morning walk in a manicured garden. My poem is hooting in the night. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Your poem is a field of sunflowers, petals turning towards the sun. Food for the bees. My poem is poison ivy, a weed creeping under skin, a rash that itches and swells. Your poem is sunlight reflected on a raging, radiant river. My poem paces in unlit corners, peering through bars of its own cage. Your poem is a trip to the coast, a dip in cool waters, a moonlit dinner, a real catch. My poem is fish bait. Worms on a barbed hook, snap lines, the one that got away. My poem is salt and vinegar in an open wound, cigarette burns on raw skin. Your poem is the ice pack, the cool balm, the dressing for the healing. My poem is slash and burn, a forest in flames, the smoky inhalation. Your poem is oof, needs a deep breath after, oxygen for the brain. My poem is temptation, the temptation in the desert, the mirage, the searing sun. Your poem is the search and rescue, the long ride home, the oasis of real dreams. My poem is the alleyway of broken dreams. Your poem is the freeway to redemption. My poem is the bite, the sting, the serpent poison. Your poem is the anti-venom serum. My poem is a cry of pain, trudging in the rain, the walk of shame. Your poem is the sacred journey, the holy pilgrimage, the return to Eden. My poem is tired and lost, all alone. Your poem is the light to find my way home. Your poem is home. Your poem is home. Your poetry is home. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you so much. That was lovely. We'll come back now into the room, I think, and we'll invite Nigel, please.
Good evening, people in the room and those over the pond. I'm going to read a poem that seems appropriate as the seasons are changing now. It's called Dancing in the Breeze. As I lay on this mossy carpet of green under the sunlit trees, gazing upwards as the leaves float and dance softly in the breeze, a nearby rabbit jumps up to sneeze, blowing leaves as they fall, disturbing the crows all sat in a row, silencing their noisy row. Wind now building, undressing the oaks, removing the leaf rustling cloaks, creating another carpet on the ground below, a carpet of golden brown, twisting leaves. These trees, they then appear to shiver, or do they merely in the breeze quiver? Oaks standing so fast with their roots so deep, stretching and searching for an underground river. As the breeze gathers tempo and the temperature drops, breeze now wind building to a crescendo, with those leaves now swelling, no longer floating and dancing. Chestnut cases split and open everywhere by those squirrels for the winter larder, burying with the acorns before the climate change that becomes too much harsher. The sun becoming low, now lower in the sky, temperature dropping as days go by. Migratory birds gathering on the wires before their journey south to a brighter sky. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. Thank you. We'll go back on Zoom now, I think, and we will invite Elaine, please, to unmute yourself. And
hello, everybody. And Julian, it's hard to follow that poem. So you had me at the first line. So thank you very much for that. When I was a little girl, I wrote a poem and sent it to Queen Elizabeth. And when you know, I got a letter back with the letterhead on this beautiful paper. It was from Her Lady in Waiting, but I still have that letter. And so I thought it was quite wonderful for them to send a thank you note for a ridiculous poem to a little girl. Anyway, I've been binge watching the events. This is, I love Puck in Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. So this is a poem for Puck. Puck's Prayer. At midnight in spring, when bushes shake with moonlight and lilac branches snap, when footsteps pad through the gate and witchery stirs the stars, you might find I have become a cat running loose in the garden to catch the wind. Or I might have become the air itself, keeping a little wuzzlecock quiet and happy in its moiety of leaves. O Oberon, release me from all mortal form, all spells and mischiefs of time in solstice and equinox. And if not that, then let me girdle the earth with laughter and song. Thank you.
thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Okay. I think we'll stay on Zoom next, and she normally uses the screen for an image as well as reading her poem. So Alexandra, I'm assuming you'll do the same again.
Yes, always, thank you.
Okay, you should be able to, there you are.
Yep. Flying Free. Hopefully you can all see the graphics on the screen in the room. Okay. Happiness is flowing in. Happiness is flowing to me. It's okay, there's happiness even in pain. There is sense even in losing it. Even if you have fallen from earth all the way down to hell, you know that the way up is always open, and you hope and you know you can make it. You will make it higher, even higher, all the way up to heaven very soon. Higher, even higher, all the way up the path of the sacred marriage. Higher, even higher, all the way up into all that is us, into all that is our magical world, into the highest love and pleasure, into the highest soul and body union, into supreme happiness, flying home, unique to us, all visions becoming reality, all dreams coming true more beautifully than you ever imagined. Being there, just trusting, just knowing so surely, so softly, so gently, so sweetly. Happiness is flowing in. Happiness is flowing in to me and my soulmate and my family and my friends. The erotic flying is flowing in. The spiritual flying is flowing in. The flying of health and beauty is flowing in. The flying of prosperity is flowing in. And you wish everything was perfect from the start. And everything is not perfect from the start. And everything becomes perfect through the journey. And everything becomes perfect because of the journey. Higher, even higher, into higher perceptions. Higher, even higher, into higher vibrations. Into higher levels of fulfillment and enjoyment. Experiencing, learning, evolving, renewing, flowing together. In and out of the darkness, in and out of the light. In and out of disconnection, in and out of connection, in and out of the magic, in and out of the magical world, ebbing and flowing, balancing on the waves, preparing for each other, maturing for each other, so sensitive, so strong, so special, still on our path, always on our path, everything part of our path, higher, even higher up our path, flying higher, even higher, love energy, life energy. Happiness is flowing in. Happiness is flowing in to me and my soulmate and my family and my friends and Greece and the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you. And yeah, Alexandra is in Greece. Just thought I'd say. So we'll come back in the room now and we'll invite Charlotte, please.
Hello. So after that very Zen poem, I'm going to read quite a dark one about death, which has been on my mind a little bit this week. So the idea of this came from the idea of where you walk into a house and the occupant isn't there anymore.
Can you get closer to the mic?
Sure. Is that better?
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm a bit tall. Sorry about that. So this is called The Abandoned Room. Okay, cool. The dust settles and my sigh of relief is interrupted by a sneeze as I breathe death back into my lungs. It swarms around my heart, softens the love I feel for life, for people, for art, in the same way colours are muted in a musty old room whose abandonment stifles my soul left behind. The reek of rotten blooms poisons the mind further. One by one, their petals fall away, shriveled by a bitter wind I don't always feel, but whips through life every day at terrifying speed, reducing beauty to weeds. Remnants of a sickly sweet perfume hangs in the air. I reel back, disgusted, yet sympathetic too. Life is unfair. The unstoppable force of decay attacks with the sunrise, and no matter how wise we become, it's still a surprise to be reminded of our mortality. Together, we face the reality of how this journey will end, a journey we have been traveling since we were born, an inevitable conclusion that could be hidden just around the corner. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you. We'll stay in the room and invite Piers up. Piers.
Good evening. This is the third of my churchyard poems, so it's quite gloomy as well. And I'm submitting it for the fragility, human fragility, words from the soul. What's it called?
The Well of Lost Voices.
This is the well of lost voices. Okay. Anyway, it's called Gate into the Churchyard. It's called a kissing gate, she remembered. Leaning over it, she gave the long gone, long lost boy a kiss. In the churchyard, she stood before the plain grey stone. In loving memory, he led the way, we can only follow. She stooped to lay a bunch of small blue flowers among the weeds and the long, unkempt grass. My love, she murmured, and tears trickled down her face. The end.
Great. Thank you, Piers. Thank you. We'll go back onto Zoom now, and I think we'll ask Peg. Oh, this is the Well of Lost Voices. It's a thing that we're trying to write. Peg, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Ken. And before I start reading my very short poem, I would like to tell Elaine, I hope sometimes she shares with us the poem she sent to the Queen. Okay, and because tomorrow is the first day of autumn, I would like to read Autumn Morning. This is short. Ending a cold, dark orbit, the sun fingers through leafy tresses, warming the forest floor. Air still as the space between heartbeats, invaded by the fragrant weight of pine and eucalyptus. Seagulls clouding the water's edge rise on cue, the pop and snap of pressing wings, a celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Peg. Thank you so much. And while we're on Zoom, CW Blackburn, CW, please. Is he still there?
Yeah. I am. Sorry.
Oh,
hello?
Good.
Is that okay? Can you see me okay?
Hang on. There he is.
Hi.
There, we've got you. There you are.
Okay, so this is called Psychic Assassins. Now is the time of the psychic assassins. They know what you want because they've seen into your dreams. They want to sell you your soul secondhand. They know what you need to make you feel complete. They're attacking you with thoughts that trap you in defeat. They're in your mind, and you don't even know, because they make you forget what's real. They're relentless profiteers. They harvest and steal. They are hive mind, moving as one. Invaders from another dimension, sent here to feed on your love, to leech the energy from your body until they bleed you dry. Mass consumption is their communion. Tomorrow's headlines, their bread and wine. They've already taken your politicians and leaders. They are united now in conflict and fear. Don't trust them. They will drop the bomb. They are the hollow men, streaming into your mind 24/7, selling you the guilt and separation you are mistaking for love. Their entertainment is your apathy. Your loss is their reward. They are hive mind, moving as one, feasting on your time. They have blinded your vision, stolen the breath from your body. It seems now they have won. Finally, we are approaching the end. But stay calm, be quiet. All isn't lost. We know what they're planning. We have spies everywhere. We are warriors and heroes working the light. This is not a poem. This is a message from the other side. Open your eyes. They feed on your fear, so fight them with love. When you lay down your arms, they will lose their control. Let this be your strategy, to know all your enemies. Don't surrender your soul. I came here tonight from another time and place to tell you the revolution of human consciousness will happen in silence. Till then, we will be out there, hiding in the shadows, guiding you on your way. Call us messengers and angels, saviors and prophets, fighting our eternal battle with the enemy no one sees, the real and ever-present danger you have forgotten. Remember, we are still at war. In keeping you comfortable, their victory is assured. So fight back, be willful, love, or they will bring us to our knees. The invisible armies of the psychic assassins. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to note that CW will be our featured reader for November. So if you enjoyed that, come back for more. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next we're going to invite Sue, please, in the room. That is.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody in the room, everybody on Zoom. Nice to see you. Oh, let's see if I can read this. Yes. I wrote this this afternoon. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see properly. They're magnifying glasses, so yes, everything's bigger. Thank you. I wrote this about 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's called Winter is Coming. Winter is coming. I can feel its damp chill, the inflated gas bill, through early insulating layers of fleece. I crave a warming log fire, no, a huge Guy Fawkes-like pyre, and hot chocolate with marshmallows of peace. It's only mid-September, and the sun is still warm on my face. Its light sprinkles, sparkles upon the still waters, but I feel lost in a deep outer space. The pomp and regal circumstance has fueled an inner fear, refusing to flutter into silence as the drunken wasps appear. I'm weary of the all of it, have lost my vital spark. It's all mixed up with the hugeness, and I can't find my little part. The part I play in all of this has disappeared from sight. Nothing matters anymore, doesn't feel quite right. I'm not sad that things are moving on. I have no point of view. It's just an overload of everything, and it's left me feeling blue. Winter is certainly coming, yet the sun is still warm on my face. I will enjoy autumn, look forward to springtime, and glue my smile firmly back into place. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And we'll stay in the room and we'll invite Mike to the microphone. Mike to the mic.
Thank you very much. This is a poem that I wrote earlier this month, probably about 2 weeks ago. It was my mum's 70th birthday on the 19th of September. And my mum was born in 1952. So I was thinking about 1952 and the Queen coming to ascend the throne, and then which happened in February 1952. And then, of course, the coronation was 53 and the funeral was on Monday, my mum's 70th birthday. So all of this was in my head as I was writing this poem. It's called Autumn 1952. Autumn 1952, when we began to fall through the leaving of one age to another, somehow through the passage of a frown, down, down, down the brow of my mother's bow, the cradle full now with you. And across the water, the drink, the drink, the drink, in that there London town, London Bridge is never falling down. But here in the city, in Belfast city, the road falls every day, doesn't wait for autumn, spring, summer. The Falls Road falls every day, a bitter winter. Shows the way we pick it back up, tarmac it over with some mother's tears, kick cans in the street for sport, fold sheets, bake barmbrack, soda fowls, potato bread, line the coffins of the dead in the stomach of the living, then put my brothers and sisters as they put me to bed. 8 of us there in the winter of the falls, cheeks and noses red as roses in the chill, shrill air. Rub your hands together, clap and stamp your feet. Hop a scotch, hot cup of tea, hot chip butt. You'll see, you'll see. She is fearsome. She is pretty. She's my ma from Belfast City. I'll tell my ma when I go home, they pulled my hair, they stole my comb. I'll tell my ma when I get home, will I go home? They stole my home. They pulled my hair, I kicked their shins. I'll tell my ma about your sins. I'll tell my ma, I'll tell the queen, I'll tell the king about your sins. Will I go home? Where is my home? I'll tell my ma, I can't go home. She is fearsome, she is pretty. She's my ma from Belfast City. And of course it's September and always mourn. And over there in that there London town, the mourners come to see the crown. London Bridge is falling down. Falling down, falling down. See the kids round this old town, my fair lady. Remember, it's September. And of course, it's the morn on this day every year when you are born to us again, dancing as the night becomes an age-old brand new day. Look how far you've come. We can hear you crying that long way away, even as you find a pearl polished at the bottom of St. George's Bay, as well worn as hope is for the way, way back. She's been away now for too many years. So we sing all about it, bake bread with our tears and raise fine childer with a love that is strong. She takes her home with her from the place she was born. That's Belfast. You call to me. When I'm far away, it's you I will be. Your Black Mountain, Cave Hill, City Hall. I carry them with me. I carry them all. Fall from autumn 1952 to autumn 2022. It is still this September. We begin to fall through the leaving of one age to another. Somehow through the passage of red, golden trees, the falling leaves you where you stand. 70 years grand, fearsome, gracious, strong and pretty. She's my ma from Belfast City.
Nice one, Mike. Thank you. So, thank you. It just shows how wrong it can be, doesn't it? See, we've had, what have we had? 10 days, 12 days, 14 days of mourning of the Queen on TV. I thought everybody'd be writing about it, but I suppose it's a bit daunting, really. And Simon Armitage managed it. And I did something, so I feel a bit foolish now that I wrote a little thing. So anyway, you're going to hear it. And it's only short, but it is about the Queen. So here we go. When all the words that have been said, when all the pictures that have been shown have been shown, when all the tears that have been cried have been cried, and when all the grief that has been shared has been shared, there will be a space shaped like you in our hearts, where we will keep our memories of you. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Fiona, for a wonderful reading. Next Zoom, third Wednesday in October, is a real treat. We're very excited. We have a collection of Polish poets. Anna has helped us compile a group of nationally known Polish poets who will be reading for us. I think 6, is it 6 now, the number, or 7? 6. We have 6 well-known Polish poets reading for us, and it'll be an absolute delight and joy. Before that, of course, on the first Wednesday in October, we have our regular meeting here, our regular open mic here. We hope you'll come in your scores. I think that's all I've got to say, actually. So I've dried up. There you go. Wonderful to see everybody. It's still morning in California. It's afternoon in Nebraska. It's evening in Greece. God bless you all. Wonderful to see you, and good night.
Ken, I wanted to say that in response to Wheezy's poem.
Elaine, what?
I wanted to say in response to Wheezy's poem that if you've never danced the polka, it is just sheer fun. Just sheer fun. It's just.
Well, if Wheezy wants to practice that for next time, I just want it known that I would pay money.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And
thanks,
Mike,
Peg. Thank you all. Love you all.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike, can you send me your poem?
Yes, £5. Yes.
All right.
And we want
Thanks,
your
everybody,
poem.
and thank you to. I think Fiona may have gone now, but that was beautiful. Thank you, Fiona. I hope you see that on recording. And again, thanks everyone for coming here this evening. And see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you both. Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow, Peg, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Peg, we had a good rain yesterday.
I'm jealous.